Welcome to yoga. We're going to start by just sitting nice and comfortably. We've got an hour ahead of us of stretching and moving and breathing, and we'll focus on the whole body. So we're just going to close the eyes, and we're going to let the hands get heavy, and let the arms get heavy. And we'll try and get a sense of how we're sitting here, how straight our spine is. And every time we inhale, we want to imagine lengthening our spine. And every time we exhale, we keep that length in the spine, but we let the shoulders soften, and we get softer and softer in our whole body. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, letting go of tension. In through the nose, and out through the nose. Deep breaths in through the nose, and slow breaths out. Now on your next exhale, just let the chin drop down to the chest. You want to try and keep your spine as straight as you can. So the back stays straight, just the head is allowed to drop down, and the shoulders are still nice and loose here. We'll take a few deep breaths here with the chin on the chest. Good. On your next inhale, take your left ear towards the left shoulder. Nice and gently raise your chin as well. Good. And keep your your shoulders completely relaxed. So we don't want the shoulders to rise, especially that left one. Nice and relaxed here. Good. And then from here, reach your right arm over to the right and keep the hand in line with the shoulder. Now we're going to open the palm to the ceiling, and we're going to bring the palm back down. Just a little bit of movement here, opening up and bringing the palm down. We can go bigger as well, open the palm to the ceiling, maybe even further, and then down and over to the other side. So roll as much as you can here, going into that whole range of motion here. All the while that left shoulder is heavy and relaxed. We'll start feeling the arm get a little bit warmer. Good. From here, open the palm to the ceiling again. And then we're going to open the palm to the side here, so the fingertips come down. Don't worry if you can't get to 90 degrees, that would be quite deep, but this is where we're aiming for. So see how that feels. And the moment you feel pins and needles, release a little bit of that pressure. I'm not the standard bearer, so if you're somewhere around here, you're doing nothing wrong. Deep breath in here, and on the exhale, bring your hand up as far as you can. Good. And from here, straighten again and bring that hand onto your shoulder. We're going to open and close here a few times. Good. And we'll release. Good. And slowly bring your head back to center. Roll your shoulder to the back. The arm is relaxed. Just the shoulder is moving. The arm is moving along because the shoulder is moving. Very good. And from here, we go the other way. Rolling to the front. Good. And then bring the top of your right hand onto the left waist. And bring your palms together here. And then push your shoulder to the back, not opening up. We keep our spine straight, and we keep the chest facing the front, and that right shoulder is pushing to the back. Good, that's all it is. And from here, we breathe in and raise the head to the ceiling. And we breathe out and slowly roll the chin to the chest. So nice and controlled here as we inhale and raise the head. And as we exhale, and drop the chin to the chest. One more time. And then we slowly release and bring the head back to where it was. Good. And then from here, drop the chin to the chest again. Relax your shoulders. Imagine that straightness in the spine again. So just lengthening through the spine as we did before. And from here, slowly roll your right ear to the right shoulder. Again, remembering the shoulders don't come up, they slide down. And that chin rises so that we're not somewhere looking down to the ground, but looking to the front. Or we can close the eyes as well. We take deep breaths. Shoulders relaxed, hands heavy. Good. From here, nice and slowly raise your arm and stretch the fingertips away from you. And already we should feel a stretch in the full arm from the shoulder all the way down to the fingertips. Now we're opening up the palm to the ceiling and we're coming down. Now rotate inwards and outwards again, but you can start making that movement a little bit bigger. Taking that palm as far to the back as you can, and then down over to the back, maybe all the way up to the ceiling here. So see what your range is. Don't hurt yourself. Go into your muscles a little bit. Good, and that head stays nice and heavy. And we keep breathing. Good. And then open the palm to the ceiling again. And keep the hand straight as you open up to the left side here. And take care not to drop your arm in any way. So we want to keep here the wrist in line with the shoulder. Again, don't worry how far you get. Just feel that nice deep stretch here in the top of the hand, in your wrist, in your forearm, and then all the way up the upper arm and into your shoulder. Good. Good. From here we rise. Bring that hand up. Again, don't overdo anything. You should still be comfortable here. We're allowed to feel the body, but we shouldn't be in pain. Now we're getting there. Just that juicy place where we really do feel something, but we're not in agony. Now back to where you were, and open and close. Hand comes onto the shoulder and opens up again. And we slowly release. Nice and slowly bring the head to center and bring the top of the left hand onto your right waist, palms on top of each other. Keep your chest facing the front and roll your left shoulder to the back. Good. So you can open up a little bit here, but you are resisting that urge of going into a twist. Good. Now from here, drop the chin to the chest. Bring your chin towards your shoulder so that you look to the side and down. Chin towards the other shoulder so that you look all the way to the side. That is rising and down and again. And keep pushing that shoulder to the back. Good. And when the head comes back down, stay there, release. Good. And roll your shoulder to the back. Okay, and we'll roll the shoulders to the front. Great. And then from here, bring your outer foot in towards you. We'll come into a lat stretch. Bring your right hand onto the ground, raise your left arm and look up to the ceiling. And we'll take a few deep breaths into the side body here. We should already feel that stretch in the side. We can now go a little bit further. On every exhale, you can go a little bit further over to the right and maybe even come all the way onto your forearm. If this is too much, stay on your hand. Keep the hand close. Just bend the arm. That's fine as well. So you'll decide how deep you want to go here, always making sure you're not rounding or opening up and raising that leg or something like that. Knees quite nice and low and heavy as you reach that left arm over to the right. And then from here, slowly look down to the ground. And then on an inhale, look up to the ceiling. When we open the palm to the ceiling here, look towards the hand, take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we come back to where we were. Good. Shoulders relaxed. Raise your right arm and look up. We're going to stretch into that side here by raising that arm. Don't tense up the shoulder though. And on the next few exhalations, again, take all the time you need. Reach that right arm as far over towards the left as you can, not coming forwards, not dropping backwards, maybe coming onto your left forearm here if that's comfortable, if that's not too deep. And once you're there, drop your head slowly, look down to the ground, and then slowly raise the head, look up to the ceiling. Open your palm to the ceiling, look towards your hands here. Your hands, your hand. I was going to say your fingertips. Good. We take a deep breath in and we exhale and come back to where we were. Roll your shoulders to the back and then from here, take a deep breath in, raise the arms, look up to the ceiling and exhale, float the arms down. Roll the shoulders to the back and from here, inhale, raise the arms, look up. And on the exhale, float the arms down, come to the side here, squeeze the shoulder blades, palms go to the back, and we try and touch the palms behind us. Little hint, we're not going to be able to. We're going to try and keep the hands in line with the shoulders, so don't let them drop, and just feel that squeezing of the shoulder blades. And then from here, drop the chin to the chest. And on an inhale, raise the head all the way up to the ceiling. When we breathe in and raise the arms, and we breathe out and look to the left, open up to the left here. Inhale and raise the arms coming back to the front. Exhale and open up to the right. Good. Inhale and raise the arms. And exhale, float the arms down. From here, bring the hands onto the ground in front of you and come up onto all fours with a little bit of space in front of you on your mat. Or not on the mat, but just space in front of you. So we've got the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. And we're going to inhale and arch the back and look to the front. Take a few moments here. Make sure you're spreading the fingers wide and make sure that you're not sinking into your shoulders here. We want that strength of our shoulders to reflect in this pose here. We feel the arms engaged, we feel the shoulders engaged. Now deep breath in here and on the exhale, round your back and drop the head so that your chin comes all the way towards your chest and we push our tailbone forward. And we take a few deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, arch your back again. Look to the front or maybe even up. And as you exhale, round your back and drop the head. And this is where it's all about listening to our breath. So maybe close your eyes like I am now. Inhale as you arch and exhale as you round. Always making sure the movement doesn't come first, the movement adjusts to the breath. And as always, we also want to notice the poses that we make before we exhale and before we inhale. And we can use those here in our posture as well. If we feel like holding our breath at the top for a few moments, then we can do that and we'll hold our position as well. And if we feel like holding our breath at the bottom, that's fine as well. We can hold our posture here too. Again, with the eyes still closed, we're going to move into our body in all sorts of ways that feel comfortable. If you want inspiration, you can look at me, but chances are you won't need any inspiration. You'll be taking that from your body and how you're feeling. You might shift the weight from side to side here in the hips. You might shift them to the back or reach the arms to the front and then drop the hips to the front. Just see what feels comfortable. There's no right, there's no wrong. And then slowly come back into your tabletop pose. And we're going to take a deep breath in once we're there and raise that right arm. Look up to the ceiling. Good. Stretch that arm as high as you can. Good. On an exhale, we're going to drop that arm behind us, hand onto the opposite waist as we've done before. Roll the shoulder to the back, look to the back. Breathe in and raise that arm. And breathe out, bring the right arm all the way over to the left so that it's on the ground and we can rest the head on the ground as well. If you want to go deeper here, you can turn the head to the right, but you don't have to. Just make sure the head is comfortable and then raise your left arm. Take a few deep breaths here. Good. And feel that breath in every part of your back as well, not just in the front body. On an exhale, release that left hand and slide the right arm back. And the right hand comes back underneath our shoulder. Good. Other side, breathe in, raise your left arm and look up to the ceiling, stretch it out. You're here for a few breaths, so there's no need to rush, no need to tense up. Also, we want to look upwards, but if you feel that that's uncomfortable for your neck muscles, adjust where you're looking. Looking to the side is just as fine. Good. Now on an exhale, drop that left hand onto the right waist if that's not too deep. Push your left shoulder to the back, look to the back. That can be a little bit deep here. So again, make sure you're comfortable. Inhale, raise that left arm. And exhale, bring it all the way over to the right, onto the ground. And relax the head onto the ground. And once you're relaxing here, raise your right arm. Remember, it can be the forehead that's on the ground as well if that's more comfortable. You can turn your head to the left if you want. So all of that is completely up to you. Then take a few deep breaths all the way into the upper body. We should feel that breath everywhere. Good. On your next exhalation, whenever that is, bring that right hand back down, push the hand into the ground and come back onto all fours here into tabletop. Very good. And then from here, walk your hands further forward. And then bring your forearms onto the ground, drop your chest as low to the ground as you can. Don't overdo anything. You've got your forearms here to support you. And if you're super flexible, you'll be able to have the chest on the ground, in which case the chin can come onto the ground and the arms are just straightening here and you don't need the forearms for support anymore. And stay comfortable here. We'll stay for a few deep breaths. On your next exhale, slowly walk your hands back in and then round your back. Drop the head, push your tailbone forward. Good, and slowly come out of that rounded position, tuck your toes under and then push your hips up. And nice and slowly start walking the heels into the mat so you're warming up the backs of the legs. Good. And don't worry too much yet about what the upper body is doing. We'll get to that eventually. Just start feeling the calves and the hamstrings warm up here. Good. And then from here, look to your feet and gently push your shoulders towards the back, so away from the wrists, so that your tailbone reaches high. We're stretching out the arms and our upper body. Good. And as always, we can keep space between the heels and the ground, and we can keep our legs slightly bent. There's no need to straighten them to have the heels in touch with the ground. So you need to be comfortable here. Keep your shoulders strong, of course. And then from here, take a deep breath in and raise your right leg nice and high. Point your toes to the ceiling
you can manage. Now the head stays dropped, and we're going to roll our foot in one direction. So drawing a circle with the toes, and then go in the other direction. Flex your foot now and drop the heel to the buttocks. This is where typically it's easier to drop the knee, but we want to keep the knee quite nice and high here. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, look to the hands, and step the foot in between the hands. Good. Foot lands right in between the hands, and we sink our hips down. Good. From here, bring the hands onto the knee and roll your shoulders to the back. If you want to, if it's too much, you can bring that back knee to the ground as well. Not, stay with me. And look to the front. Nice and straight spine here. Good. And then from here, raise your arms, reach them high. Interlock the hands, push the palms away from you, slide the shoulders down, and look up to the ceiling as you reach the arms to the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. This doesn't have to be a back bend. We're just starting by opening up the chest here. But if you want to, you can come into a back bend. Good. Deep breath in here. And we exhale and bring the hands down onto the ground. Well done. Keep your hips low. And inhale as you raise your right arm. Look up to the ceiling. On an exhale, reach that right arm over to the front. Open the palm to the ceiling here. And if it's not uncomfortable, look towards your hand. Good. Breathe in. And then exhale and bring your hand down and step back into your inverted V here. And start walking the heels into the mat again, one by one. Good. And we'll remember chest and shoulders push towards the back here, towards the legs. Now on the next inhale, you're going to raise that left leg nice and high. Keep pushing your shoulders towards the back. Good. We're going to roll our foot in one direction and then in the other. And then we flex our foot and drop the heel to the buttocks. Deep breaths here. Now slowly look to the hands and use your exhalation to step that left foot in between the hands. Don't worry where it lands. We've got time to make this perfect. Once your hands are framing your foot, sink your hips down, find your balance, bring the hands onto your knee. And if that's too much, bring that back knee to the ground. Both options are fine. Good. Roll the shoulders to the back, raise the arms, look up to the ceiling, interlock the hands, push the palms away from you, and then squeeze your shoulder blades, push the arms to the back, maybe coming into a back bend here, up to you. Deep breath in, and we exhale and bring the hands down. Keep your hips low, and then inhale, raise your left arm, look up to the ceiling. Now strong in your right shoulder here, don't let yourself sink down into that right shoulder. And on an exhale, reach your left arm over to the front, open the palm to the ceiling, and look towards the hand. If all that is too much, you can look to the side or down as well. Good, and we release. Hand comes down, and we step our right foot forwards, dropping the head, landing in a forward fold. And give your hands a little shake here, they might need it. You can hold onto your elbows and just let your whole upper body weight hang. Good. From here, hands to the shins and gently push into the chin so we straighten the arms and the torso, coming halfway up. Good. And then rather than shifting the weight to the back, which we might do because there's weight for the front as well, shift your weight into the toes here. Good. And then interlock the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades, raise the arms as high as you can. Don't worry how it looks, just worry how it feels. Not worry, no worries at all. Breathe in, raise the arms and come up with a straight back. And then breathe out and bring the hands to your heart center. From here, feet together.
And we're going to slide our left leg to the side, just to the side to begin with. Toe can still be on the ground. Good. From here, raise that leg higher and flex your foot. Make sure that there's nothing going on in the hips here. We're just opening up to the side, not going up with the leg and not pushing the hips to the back. Very good. And then our right arm is reaching over to the right and our left arm is going up. Good. And we stay here and breathe. Keep flexing that foot. And maybe raising that leg even higher. Again, take care not to open the hip here. And then maybe even close your eyes. And release. Very well done. And we do the other side, sliding that right leg to the side, toes on the ground still. Good. And we also want to make sure the torso doesn't come over. So keep your torso straight. Raise that right leg, flex the foot, raise it as high as you can without pushing the hips to the back. And then left arm to the left, right arm reaches high. We're going to try and get that leg as high as we can without opening up the hips. Very good. Try to close the eyes again if you like. This is called Ashwatthasana, so the holy fig tree. So it's a different tree than the one we normally do, but it also works at balance very well, and that supporting leg and the hips in a different way. Slowly release and shake off. Very good. And then from here, come to the front of the mat. Big toes together. Roll your shoulders to the back. Open the palms to the front. Take a deep breath in and raise the arms. And on an exhale, bring the hands to a heart center. Come halfway down. Good. We shift our weight into the toes again, not into the heels. And then bring the hands all the way down into the ground. Drop your head. Relax. Good. Hands stay next to the feet. We're going to bend the legs to make that easier for us if we need to. And it's fine if it's just your fingertips touching the ground and not the whole hand. From wherever we are now, we're going to inhale and step the right leg to the back. We've done that before. We're coming into a nice deep lunge. This time on an exhale, we're going to drop that right knee all the way to the ground and relax the foot. And we're going to push our left knee out to the side, coming onto the outer edge of the foot here. Sink your hips down, but keep your torso proud. And then slowly look to the left here, and maybe even all the way to the back. And that left hand stays on the left knee, so that we can gently push it out to the side. Very good. Next little challenge, bend your right leg and see if you can hold on to your foot. Don't worry if you can't, and just bend that leg and try and reach the foot as high as you can. If you can hold on, increase that stretch for your quads by pulling that foot close in towards you. Keep pushing that left knee out. Good. And again, it doesn't have to look anything like that. From here, slowly release. And we're going to roll the shoulders to the back, hands onto the hips, breathe into a back bend while you try to keep pushing the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades and pushing the elbows towards each other. Good, and deep breaths into that belly that we're stretching here. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades. And then slowly come back. We're going to tuck our toes under and straighten the leg. We'll come into a plank from here. That means we keep our hips low as we just slide that left leg to the back. And as always in our plank, we keep our shoulders strong and we keep our hips from dropping all the way down. You can tuck your tailbone under to engage a little bit more with that strength in your core. And we breathe. If this gets too much, knees to the ground. Otherwise, a couple more deep breaths here. Good. On your next exhale, bring the knees to the ground. Toes stay tucked under here. And we're going to hug the elbows in towards us as we drop our chest and chin to the ground. Hips are nice and high, and we stay here. Or we're going to raise the arms, pointing the fingertips towards the ceiling. Don't worry if they're going somewhere around here, but again, remember squeezing the shoulder blades. Good, and we release, hands come back onto the ground. And we're going to inhale, drop the hips, raise the chest, just the chest, feel your ribcage in touch with the ground, feel your hands firmly on the ground and push the elbows towards the back. Look to the front, smile at the front, we're still having fun. And then from here, slowly raise your legs, keeping the legs straight, don't bend the legs. Very good. Slowly lower the legs and push into the hands, raising the torso higher off the ground, keeping the arms slightly bent. No matter how high you are, there's still a mini bend in the arms and the shoulders don't come up towards the ears. We look to the front or we look up to the ceiling if that's comfortable. Good. Keep that strength in your arms. One more deep breath in here. And on the exhale, push your hips to the back and sink down into child's pose. Drop your head. And as we did before, we want to be aware of that breath in our back. To really feel that movement there as well, not just in the front of the upper body. Good. Now slowly from here, come onto all fours, tuck your toes under and push the hips up. And we'll inhale and raise our right leg. Exhale and step the foot in between the hands. Bring your left heel to the ground, sink down into that right leg and breathe in. Raise your arms, raise your torso. Good. And then just to make sure, bring your hands onto your hips for a moment and see if you can gently push that right hand to the back and realize how that left hip comes forwards a little bit like that. Good. Now from here, raise your right arm and drop that hand to the back. Use your left hand on the elbow to push the elbow to the back or bind your hand behind you. And we look up to the ceiling here, coming into a little back bend, keeping the weight in that right leg. Still very much engaged here in that right leg. Brilliant. We release, straightening the torso. Take a deep breath in here and then exhale and bring the hands down to the ground. Keep that right leg bent, keep the left foot on the ground and raise the left arm. Look up to the ceiling. Great. Now from here, keep that left hand on the ground and see if you can straighten the right leg. Don't worry if you can't. Very good. We drop that right hand behind us for a moment. We look towards our right hip. And then reach that right arm all the way to the front. Take a deep breath in here and exhale. Bring the hand down, bend your right leg and step into a forward fold. Drop your head. Good. We inhale and raise the arms and torso. Come all the way up to standing. And then exhale, bring the hands to your heart center. Inhale, raise the arms again, look up. Exhale and fold forward, nice and slowly. Again, shifting the weight into the toes as you come all the way down. Remember, fingertips or the whole hand next to the feet, not in front. And we're going to inhale and step the left leg to the back. Now take your time, sink the hips down first. And then drop your left knee, relax the top of the foot. Very good. For good measure, just check that your knee is in line with your heel, that it hasn't come further forward. Shouldn't have, if we did it right. Now from here, right hand onto the right knee, push your right knee out to the side, coming onto the outer edge of your foot here. Good. So this is quite deep already. Don't overdo anything. Just gently keep your hand here and push. Keep your torso nice and straight as you start twisting, opening up to the right. And we can look to the back here. Taking nice deep breaths. Good. Now from here, go a little bit further, bend your back leg if you can. And if you can, grab hold of the foot, pull it in towards you, whilst also pushing that right knee out to the side and pushing the hip down. Good. So this is super deep. If you look nothing like that and you're more like here, that's also fine. We want to work with stretching your body and not make you look a certain way. This is never our aim. Keep your left shoulder strong here as well. Good. Deep, deep breaths. We need them. And from here, slowly release and come back onto the front of the whole foot, hands firmly on the ground. Going to roll the shoulders to the back, straighten the torso, hands onto the hips here. And we're going to bring the elbows towards each other as we come into the back bend. Deep breaths into the abdomen here. Feeling that rise and fall of the stomach. And then slowly come back. Hands next to that right foot. We tuck the toes under. We straighten the left leg. And we're going to slide or hover that right leg into a plank. Okay, deep breaths here. For the second one, we can come a little bit deeper by tucking the tailbone under and then shifting our whole body further forward. So we come onto the tips of our toes here and our wrists are further to the back than our shoulders are here. So feel that strength in your body here. Very nice. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Release the knees, toes stay tucked under here. And we tilt our pelvis and bring the chest and chin to the ground, hugging the elbows in towards us. Now fingertips onto the ground, squeezing the shoulder blades, pushing the elbows towards each other. Raise your feet towards the buttocks, pointing the toes towards the ceiling. Deep and slow breaths into the body. Good, and from here we release. We come onto the front of the body and we're going to roll our shoulders to the back, raise the chest off the ground, reach the arms to the back, and from here, raise the legs as well. Now, the lower you are, of course, the easier this becomes, but I want you to now raise yourself up every time you inhale. Go a little bit higher. Good. And keep breathing. And then slowly release. Come back down. Hands next to the chest. Very well done. Inhale and push your chest and rib cage off the ground. And again, there can also, there should still be a connection of the pubic bone and the ground, but your lower belly can be off the ground now as well, all depending on how you feel in your lower back. And we'll look up to the ceiling. If we want, we can now raise the feet here as well and bring the feet towards the head. On an exhale, release and push your hips to the back, coming into child's pose. And as before, we take a few deep breaths here. Good. And we roll up onto all fours. And from here, make our way into Parvadasana or mountain pose or downward dog, whatever you want to call it. Great. We inhale and raise our left leg nice and high. Point the toes. Exhale and step your foot in between the hands. Bend your left leg. Bring the right heel to the ground. Toes turn out to the right. And we're slowly going to raise the arms and raise the torso, coming up into warrior one, making sure that we're not opening up to the right here. So just for a moment, bring the hands onto the hips Gently pushing that left hip to the back, right hip to the front, opening up to the front as much as we can, as much as is comfortable. Good. And then from here, drop that left hand and bring the right arm down all the way. So you can either bind your hands behind you or use that right hand on the left elbow. Good. And as we come into a back bend, we keep our weight in the left leg here, coming as far back as is comfortable. Keep breathing deep breaths all the way into the front of the body. Good. And slowly release. Raise the arms, take a deep breath in. Exhale and bring the hands down. Remember, right foot stays on the ground. Left foot obviously is on the ground as well here. We keep that left leg bent as we raise our left arm on an inhale. Good. And feel that strength in your left hand, left leg here. Left hand, yeah, maybe the hand as well. Slightly less than the left leg. Good. Now nice and slowly, see if you can straighten your left leg here. And then drop that left hand behind you. Look towards your left hip. Reach your left arm over to the front, look to the front. And then slowly lower the hand to the ground. Bend your left leg and step forward. And drop the head. Let yourself rock from side to side here. And then breathe in, raise the arms, raise the torso. And breathe out, bring the hands to the heart center. Step the feet about mat distance apart with the toes turning out and the heels coming in. And we're going to inhale and raise the arms. And exhale, send the knees out to the side. And then slowly drop down into Malasana. Hands come to the heart center, hips drop down. And we're going to try and keep our spine nice and straight here. So rather than rounding, stay straight in your spine. If you've got the heels off the ground, bring the feet further apart. Just further apart into the deep sumo squat. And the closer you can bring them, the more you can do that. Okay, and we close the eyes here. This is easy for us after the balancing we've done in Ashwadasana, in the holy fig tree. Good. Now slowly drop the chin to the chest. You can open the eyes again. And then inhale, raise your left arm. Bring the right hand down onto the ground. On an exhale, drop that arm behind you. And then draw a circle with your right hand, bringing the arm all the way to the back. Keep that arm in front of your leg and see if you can bind your hand behind you. Hands. What is it with me today? Push your left shoulder to the back. Look to the back. Good. Keep breathing. And then release. Raise your left arm. And bring the hand onto the ground. If you need a little break from sitting here in your deep Malasana, shift the hips from side to side, bring the hips up. Otherwise, you can stay here too. Whenever you're ready, come back down into Malasana. See if maybe, as you're getting more used to this, the feet can come closer together. And on the next inhale, raise your right arm, look up to the ceiling. Left hand is steadying you on the ground here. And we take deep breaths. And we exhale and drop that arm behind us and draw a circle with your left hand, bringing that arm all the way to the back. Arm stays in front of the leg, and we see if we can bind our hands. Now, the deeper we are here, the easier this will become, but at some point we'll be able to grab hold of our wrist, of the right wrist, so that we can pull at that arm, straightening the arm, pushing that shoulder to the back. We look to the back, beyond our right shoulder here. Good. And the soles of the feet stay firmly on the ground. We inhale and raise that right arm. And we exhale and bring the hand down. Both hands come onto the ground. And from here, bring your buttocks onto the ground. Very good, well done. And we're going to shake off the legs. Point the toes, and then flex the toes, and roll the feet in all directions. Good, and then from here, come onto your back and hug the knees in towards you. Just a little bit of relaxation here. You can rock from side to side if you feel like your back needs a little massage, or you can stay static if you prefer. Just let your body get heavy here. Good, and then from here, release that left leg, just stretch it out on the mat. And then bring that right foot to the outside of the left thigh. So you're holding on with the left hand here. Good, and then relax that right arm. You can reach it out to the side, you can keep it close to you, and raise your hips, your buttocks off the ground. Left hip comes down onto the ground. We're going to drop our right knee to the left. Good, we keep our right shoulder firmly on the ground here. Head can turn to the right if that's comfortable, or you can also just look up to the ceiling if you prefer. Or we can close the eyes here. And keep your breath nice and steady. You should feel the breath here in your rib cage and your whole right side. Of course, in the lower back and in the lower abdomen, as always. Good, and we come onto our back here. And we bring that knee back in towards us, buttocks firmly on the ground here in the middle. And we hug the knee back in towards us. Now pull that knee over towards your right armpit and slide your left hand to the right foot again. So this is where we can stay. This is nice and comfy. I don't know if it's comfortable, but it's comfortable for me. Now we can bring that right hand to the right foot on the inside here. And we can raise the flexed foot up to the ceiling. This might be too much, so don't overdo anything. You should be comfortable wherever you are. So if this is too much, if this looks like it's too far out, just gently push that knee out a little bit. If you want to come into Ardha Anand Balasana and half happy baby, then that's great, but it's not necessary. And if you're there, but you notice that your hip is rising, your left hip is rising, just bring your left foot onto the ground and your left hand can rest on the hip. So we're aware what that hip is doing. Is it nice and heavy here? Good. Now from wherever you are, straighten that right leg and take it over to the right. Most of us won't be able to hold on to the foot. If you just hold on here on the inner thigh or the lower leg somewhere, that's fine as well. And we keep that left hip nice and heavy. Even if your left foot is on the ground, you're not raising that left butt cheek off the ground too much. Very good. And we release. Bend that leg and hug it in towards you. Just a few deep breaths here. Hug that knee as close in towards the chest as you can. And release. Stretch that right leg away from you. If it needs a shake, give it a shake and hug your left knee in towards you. Nice and close in towards you here. Good. Now right hand to the left foot. Left foot comes to the outside of that right leg here. And we're then going to raise our hips and drop that right hip down onto the ground. So we're going into a slightly deeper twist than if we were just going from here. If it's too deep, obviously adjust. Then turn your head to the left if that's comfortable. Keep looking up to the ceiling if you prefer.
Your left arm can reach over to the left here, or you can just keep the left arm close to you. You might want to have the left hand on your left waist to feel the movement of the breath. Either way, we keep that left shoulder firmly on the ground. That is not rising. And we can slowly close our eyes and take deep breaths into the body. Good. And we take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, we come onto our back again. We adjust our buttocks, bring them firmly down onto the ground. Hug your left knee back in towards you. Good. And pull it in and then gently pull it over towards the left armpit. Right hand can come to the left foot. But there's lots and lots of options. So be comfortable here, just gently opening up here. Doesn't have to be any more than that. But if you want to go further, grab hold of your left foot with the left hand and raise that flexed foot to the ceiling, keeping that knee quite low. And if you realize that your hip is rising, then just bring your foot onto the ground here, your right foot, so that you notice there's still a connection here of your lower back and the ground. Good. We can close the eyes here too. We'll just observe our breath for a little bit. Stomach rises as we breathe in, and stomach falls as we breathe out. And then nice and slowly straighten your leg over to the side. You can also hold on underneath the crook of the knee with your left hand if you want. So just do what's comfortable. And again, remember you can bring that right foot down onto the ground if you prefer. And observe your breath. Is it deep, slow, maybe shallow? I don't know. And then slowly bend that leg again. Bring the knee in towards you and hug it closely in towards the chest. Good. And we hug that right knee in towards us as well and raise our head towards the knees, making a little package of ourselves here. And then slowly lower your back onto the ground, the head onto the ground. Flex your feet, raise them up to the ceiling, pull the knees down to the ground, and maybe bring the feet and hands in touch. But again, this is optional. The hands can be wherever you want them to be. Good. Now from here, just a few more deep breaths all the way into the lower belly. This is that lovely pose where we can really feel and see, if we were looking to our stomach, that rise and fall of the stomach and the chest and the ribcage. And we slowly release on the next exhale. Bring the soles of the feet down into the ground. Give yourself a good stretch. Stretch out the arms, stretch out the legs, point the fingers, point the toes. And we've got a few minutes of relaxation, meditation to look forward to. So just get into a comfortable position here on the ground into Shavasana. Arms and legs stretch away from you. Toes are pointing out to the sides. The palms are open to the ceiling. The eyes are closed. The eyelids are getting heavy. And start feeling the breath in our nostrils now. We'll still, of course, be very much aware of the breath in the chest and stomach and ribcage, in our back and our side body. But for now, we'll just ignore that and focus on the nostrils.
Cool in breath, slightly warmer out breath. Let your breath slow down. Feel the warmth around your nostrils. Imagine it traveling up all the way to your scalp. Crown of the head, the forehead, the temples, spreading over your face. Skin is warm. That warmth is spreading over every single inch of skin on your body. As we breathe in, we come back to that rise and fall of the upper body. The front of the body and our back. Feel your hips relax. Let your pelvis soften. Relax your thighs. Your knees are soft. Calves and shins. Your knees. Backs of the knees. The hamstrings. The back of the leg. On the right. On the left. Your buttocks. Your lower back relaxes. Mid back, upper back. Shoulder blades and shoulders. The upper arms and the forearms. Your hands and fingers and fingertips. The feet from the ankles over the heels. Down the tops of the feet and the arches of the feet. Into every toe. We take a deep breath all the way in. And we exhale through the mouth. And we inhale and raise the arms. And we stretch into our body. And on the next exhale, bring the feet onto the ground. And we drop onto the side of the body. And slowly up to seated. You can keep the eyes closed if you like. Drop the chin to the chest, hands onto the knees. Slowly bring your right ear to the right shoulder. Roll the chin to the chest. Left ear to the left shoulder. And roll the chin to the chest. And then roll your shoulders to the back. Come back to that straightness in your spine. Wrap your hands together. Place the palms over your face. And nice and slowly raise the head. Open the eyes. And bring the hands to your heart center.